Hi, so my previous video I talked about why I installed the Webasto air heater in my EV, but I didn't really give any firm numbers, and that's what you want to know, right? How much energy does it save, and real world winter driving evidence and figures. So, which will be important if you're in a cold climate, Norway or Sweden or Finland or Canada or wherever. You're going to want to know the hard data, right? If you're thinking about getting one, or even if you're just intrigued by this project. So today I'm going to do a 100-kilometer drive. I have some land exactly 100 kilometers away. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes drive. I got to do a lot of snow work with a tractor there, so it's a good opportunity to record the driving data and the energy usage. So it feels pretty warm out now. Let's check the temperature and see what's what. So I've had the Webasto on for about an hour. In the morning, before I have my morning coffee, I come out and simply turn the dial. Simply turn that to maximum and then go back in the house. And the Webasto fires up, warm air comes out of this pipe. Oh, that's nice and warm. So let's see what the ambient temperature is. The car is fully charged. Should be on 100%. It's being plugged in. I typically only use the Kia. This comes with the car. It's 10 amps, so it gives 2.1 kilowatts. And just got it plugged into your normal 220 volts. And that typically does me. If the car's here like 12 or something hours, if I run it low, it will take 2 days to charge up fully, but I get by with that charger. When we go to my like wilderness plot now, I do have a juice booster charger. I got this bad boy. There's an 11 kilowatt 3-phase charger. I can use this wherever there is a 400 volt outlet. This is my portable charger. It's awesome. It's quite expensive, but you can change the charging speed anywhere from like 6 amp, 8 amp, 10 amp. And you can also use this with Shuko up to 10 amps, which I do sometimes in places. I usually leave the Kia charger at this house, so when I'm in other places in Finland, I can use this. Great bit of kit, but I'm emphasizing this now. You're probably wondering why the heck am I talking about chargers when it's a Webasto video? Because I've only been charging with the 10 amp charger, so there shouldn't be any heat in the battery. If I was charging with 11 kilowatts, the battery would be pretty warm and the results would be skewed because it's a warm battery. So I want this to be a typical winter test where everything is pretty cold. The car's been sat here charging on 2 kilowatts all night. I doubt that's enough to warm the battery. We'll check the battery temperature now. I've got an app, EV Notify. But I expect the batteries to be quite cold. So the battery temperature should not have an effect on the results. That's my point. So I've got my OBD2 Bluetooth dongle there. Okay, so it's a minus 11 outside, and the Webasto's been running for about an hour now, and it is 10, 11, 12 degrees. It's 12 degrees here, but like I'd say it's more like 20 degrees at the top of the cabin. So like, because that is middle height. So it usually feels warmer than what this is saying. So that says 13, so it feels warm in here. Warm air is coming out of the pipe from the Webasto in the back. Car is turned on, however, everything is off. Heating is off. Let's see. So we're at 100%. 332 kilometers of range, which is nice in minus 11. So let's check the battery temperature now before I set off on this 100 kilometer drive. So I have EV Notify. Yes, turn on Bluetooth. Okay, 100%. So the battery, you're not really gonna focus on that because I've got this lens is taped to infinity focus. Yeah, you can just about make it out. So the battery temperature is ambient, pretty much ambient. Minus 10. The minimum is, so I think the way that e-niro works. Hi. I think the way that the EV Notify and the way that e-niro works with the battery temperature, I think there's a few sensors around the battery. There's 3 readings on the EV Notify app. There's the minimum temperature, the maximum temperature, and the inlet temperature. So I'm going to assume there's at least 3 sensors. There's possibly more. So one of the sensors is saying minus 10. One of the sensors is saying minus 9. And the inlet temperature, which is pretty much always cold, unless you're charging, the inlet is going to be close to where exactly what it says, where the inlet is, where the charging cables come in, or the high voltage cables come in. So that's pretty much always called the inlet. That doesn't really have an effect on the driving efficiency. So there's my battery temperature, minus 10, minus 9. So this is why I was going on about the charges, because if I heated the battery up, it would skew the results. It wouldn't be a fair test. So if I'm gonna do this test with the Webasto is gonna provide the whole heating on this 100 kilometer drive, not turning the car climate on whatsoever. Oh my god, it's flipping warm, that heater. Whew. Might have to turn it down actually. I've had it on full power the last couple of days because it's been like minus 17, but that's pretty warm now, and it's minus 11 out. Too warm, in fact. Okay, the temperature has now gone up to 15, 16, 17, almost 18 degrees inside, and that's middle. Maybe me opening the doors let a bit of warm air out, and now it's got warm again. Yeah, that's flipping warm. But once I start going and the wind chill hits the window, it should cool down a little bit. So I'll keep it on full for now, full power. So that's the plan. Let us put in our destination, so you can have a see where we are going. Previous destinations. Haraldjarventia. Set as destination. That's 95 kilometers exactly. 1 hour 8 minutes. It says. So let's see. In -11 outside, and it's gonna get colder today. It's not likely to get any warmer than -11. So they reckon it's gonna be like -19, -20 later this evening. So let's see what energy usage I use on this 95 kilometer drive at -11. I'm going to do the speed. The speed limit is 100. In most of Finland in winter, the speed limits drop. So like 100 kilometer per hour roads become 80 kilometer per hour roads, and 120s usually become 100s. But in Lapland, they don't bother with that because we know how to drive up here. So the speed limit is 100 in summer. It's 100 in winter. So I will set the cruise to 100 on the car. I always tend to do the speed limits and a little bit over, if I'm honest. Now that I've got the e-niro and the Webasto, I do the speed limit plus 10% plus VAT. With the I-Pace, that was like in winter, that was a real efficiency hog. That just ate batteries, man. So I usually done 90 kilometers per hour in the I-Pace. But once you go faster than that, it was just hemorrhage energy. It was. So you had to sort of drive really eco in the I-Pace in winter to try and get a good distance out of it. The e-niro, this thing is insane in winter. It's just so good, so efficient. I can't believe it. It's a similar size to the I-Pace. I've had them parked side by side. Similar size. I don't know how Kia make this car so efficient. It's mega efficient. So I tend to do the speed limits. I don't have to only if it's like -30 or something, I will slow down. But now at -11, I'm gonna hammer it. I'm not gonna spare any energy, as I can charge when I'm at the plot as well. I've got electricity there, so no biggie. Anyway, I'm gonna leave in a second. Oh my god, it's 20 degrees in here now. So this is just with the Webasto. 20 degrees. It's getting uncomfortably too warm. It really is. It's feeling like a sauna. So I'm gonna go just so the car cools down a bit, because it's warm in here. Right, so I'm gonna unplug and then go. So back in a minute. Okay. Trip meter reset. Navigation is set up. 95 kilometers. In eco mode, turning the regen off.
In 500 meters,
don't need regen.
turn left.
This is test number 1. I still got the Webasto on full power, so it's very warm in here. Very, very warm. Temperature has dropped down to 16. That's just when I open a door. Basically, I figured out when I open a door in this weather, temperature drops 5 degrees on that thing. Snow.
In 200 meters, turn left and then left.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice here now.
Now turn left and then left. In 100 meters, turn left onto 4. Now turn left. Keep straight on this road.
power. Okay, so I've got to put the camera down now because I'm driving. Temperature's just dropped to -12. So I'll give an update in half an hour or so, and we'll see what our consumption is. Once I get to the 100 zone, it's still 80 for 2 minutes now. Then I get to the 100 zone, then I put the cruise on, and it's pretty much that until I get to the place I'm going to. So I'll do an update in half an hour. Let's see where we're at. This is the great thing about the e-niro. You can see your percentages that you're using. So now 0% on climate, 97% is on driving. When I come back up, there's no way it will be 97% on driving. I don't think it'll even be 90% energy usage on driving. Be lucky if it's even 80% energy usage on driving. The heater uses a lot of energy. So it's gonna be interesting. It's a nice day for it. The roads are being ploughed pretty good. Looks quite snowy, but it's very hard packed. So rolling resistance isn't too high to skew the results on this test. Let's check the wind direction. There's barely any wind, and it's no single direction. It's just a bit chaotic everywhere, blowing east to west, and there's no north or south winds that are going to skew these results. So there's practically no wind, and it's neither a headwind or a tailwind. So this is a pretty good conditions for the heating test. So the results we get now will be pretty accurate. So as you can see, I'm doing 100. I don't even have cruise on, I'm just sort of using the accelerator. So I'm not driving eco, I'm in eco mode, but I'm driving as if I was driving a fossil car. This is exactly, I've driven this 1,000 times, no, 2,000 times I've driven this route over the 6 or 7 years that I've had a house up here. And this is the way to the airport. I work in tourism, so I have to go to the airport and pick people up on this route. It's 2 hours to the airport, and I've done this every week for years. I know this road like the back of my hand. Often moose around here, so you might see a moose today. A bit further down, we might get some reindeer. It's a beautiful wilderness. This, it's like 70 degrees latitude north, very, very north. It's almost, well, we're at the border, where we started from today. We're at the border of Norway, the very top of Norway, the top municipality, Finnmark, in Norway. We got a bridge going from our town, Utsjogi, to Norway. Oh, that piece of ice made a loud noise. So we're in the northernmost part of Finland. You can't get much more north than where we are. This car is the most northern registered EV in Finland, and I think I've driven in the coldest temperatures out of most EVs. minus 37, minus 38 last winter. I've only driven a minus 30 this winter, but hopefully that changes. I'd like to do a minus 40 or minus 45 run. The coldest temperature was recorded not far from here a few years ago, and it was minus 51.5, I think. So that's how cold it can get here, minus 51. It pretty much gets to minus 40 every winter. That's almost a given. You can expect to see minus 40 at least 1 or 2 days of the year. So last winter it got very close to that. It got minus 37. I had the Jaguar I-Pace then, and I had it where we're going today. Actually, it was parked up. It wasn't even plugged in, so the battery was minus 37. I was doing a test. I didn't make videos then, so I've done all this cool stuff in the past, all this testing and everything, and it's just me in my head. Like, didn't think about making videos of it. I didn't think anyone would be interested in all this stuff, to be honest. It's like I enjoy doing this and all this tinkering and testing and pushing things to the limits in the winter. I enjoy it, but I thought no one else is going to enjoy that. It's weird. Who wants to see EV driving at minus 37? So I didn't bother making any videos or recording it. I took a picture of the screen, of course, minus 37, put it on my personal Facebook page, like, check this out. And it started up. The car had been sat there for 2 days. Pressed the button. All came to life. That Jaguar I-Pace is a brilliant winter car. I've not really tested this in extreme temperatures yet. I had 1 day in minus 29 driving up. It was fine in that, but no, I can't say for sure how good this is in very cold. I mean, down to minus 20, it's been a champ. Parked up and everything, no issues. So it's brilliant down to minus 20. That's pretty much the benchmark figure I know it's good at so far. I gotta wait till it gets much colder before I can definitively say it's super good. Okay, so we've been driving for half an hour now. Let's update. 97% still of all energy is going just on driving. That's awesome. That is flipping cool. 3% on electrics, which is still at like 0.34, 0.32, 0.3. Yeah, so that's about 300 watts, 350 watts going on electrics. Consumption is 22.3. That's a little bit high. I'll have to check the elevation, but I know for a fact we are slowly climbing an elevation here. I think where we start from is around 80 meters above sea level, and just around this bend up here, we're at the highest point. It's around 330, 340 meters above sea level. So we have slowly been climbing up, and we're almost we're exactly at the halfway point now, and then it starts going down again. So it should be pretty even on both legs, but I'll check an elevation map in a bit just to see if one direction is more favourable than the other. But this is this is a little bit high. This consumption 22.4 kilowatt hours per 100. But we'll see once we get above this belt and it starts dropping again. Consumption should come down. .5, so we've done 50 kilometers exactly. 22.5, 22.6 kilowatt hours now. I mean, I am doing 100. It's not the most eco. I'm doing 100 on hard packed snow in minus 13. It's not the most eco conditions, and I'm still doing 22.6. But I don't like it when I hit 20. I always like to be below 20 kilowatt hours consumption. So hopefully it does drop below 20. Okay, we're practically there now. Gonna do this very, very, very snow-covered road. I have a lot of snow work to do. E-niro is not too bad in the snow. The battery hangs quite low underneath, so ground clearance is not great. In deep snow, you will get beached, and you'll have no traction on drive wheels. But in anything other than deep snow, it's not bad. Well, with the right winter tires on, of course. I've got the Hakkapeliitta 9 winter tires. Okay, here is my plot of land, and there is no way this car is getting down that driveway. But anyway, let's talk stats. 21.0 kilowatt hours per 100. 21.0. 95.2 kilometers. Exactly 1 hour 12 minutes, 223 kilometers of range left. Stats are 98% of all energy went on driving. Battery still at 70%. So that's over 300 kilometers of range I can get in minus 13 with cruise set to 100 exactly. That is pretty good. That's like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. The GOM, I said about 320 something at the start. That's about right. If you ran it to 0, which you wouldn't, but if you did, you would get about 320. That is not too shabby on those snowy roads. So let me get a picture of this, and then on the return leg, after I've done all this flipping snow work, on the return leg, Webasto will be turned off. I'm going to leave the car now with everything turned off so it cools down. So I start with a totally cold car so the test is accurate. So in an hour or so, I'll head back up and we'll see how the car does with its own heating system.